New Year's Eve. Audrey Sinclair stepped into the crowded restaurant, champagne glasses clinking around her like hollow bells. She had just escaped another charity gala, where she smiled until her face ached. The countdown clock glowed above the bar. Then she saw him. Ryan Hayes, her employee, sitting alone in a corner booth. For one stupid second, she thought maybe tonight she wouldn't be the only one without someone. She walked over, ready to offer him a seat at her table. He looked up. His voice was calm, almost apologetic. "I have a date." The words cut clean through her chest. Audrey had left the gala early. She told the host she had a headache, which was not entirely a lie. 3 hours of networking, forced laughter, and men who looked at her company valuation before they looked at her face had worn her down to nothing. She drove herself to the restaurant because she did not want a driver watching her sit alone on New Year's Eve. The valet took her keys without meeting her eyes. Inside, the noise hit her first. Couples leaning close over candlelight. Groups toasting with too much energy. She stood near the entrance, feeling the weight of her designer coat and the emptiness underneath it. She scanned the room out of habit, the way she scanned boardrooms, looking for allies or threats. That was when she saw Ryan. He sat in a booth near the back, half hidden by a column, staring at his phone. No drink in front of him, no one across from him. Just a man waiting. Audrey felt something shift in her chest. Relief, maybe, or recognition. She had seen him at the office plenty of times, always efficient, always polite. Always leaving exactly at 5:30 to pick up his daughter. She knew he was a single father because HR had flagged his schedule requests. She knew he was good at his job because she paid attention to those things. But she had never seen him like this. Alone. Like her. She walked toward his table before she could talk herself out of it. Her heels clicked against the marble floor, sharp and confident. The sound she made when she wanted people to move. Ryan looked up when she stopped in front of him. His expression did not change, but something flickered in his eyes. Surprise, maybe. Or discomfort. Audrey told herself it did not matter. She was doing him a favor. She was doing herself one too. She spoke first, keeping her voice light, like this was nothing. "Ryan, I didn't expect to see you here." He straightened slightly. The way employees did when she appeared unexpectedly. His phone went face down on the table. "Miss Sinclair, Happy New Year." She gestured toward the empty seat across from him, not quite asking permission. "It looks like you're alone. I am too. We could sit together. It's better than both of us pretending we're fine in separate corners." Ryan opened his mouth, then closed it. His hand moved to the edge of the table, gripping it lightly. When he spoke, his voice was careful, almost apologetic. "I appreciate that. But I have a date." The words landed clean and sharp, like a door closing in her face. Audrey felt her smile freeze. Her hand, still hovering near the back of the chair, dropped to her side. She nodded once, too quickly, and took a step back. Her throat tightened, but she kept her expression smooth. She had spent years learning how to do that, how to lose without looking like she lost. Ryan was not being cruel, he was just telling the truth. But the truth was worse than cruelty, because it left no room for misunderstanding. He had someone. She did not. And now he knew that she had walked over here hoping to fix that, even if just for one night. Audrey felt heat crawl up her neck, not from anger, but from shame. She had miscalculated. She had assumed he was like her, and that assumption made her look desperate. She forced a polite laugh, the kind she used in meetings when someone said something tone-deaf. "Of course, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude." Ryan shook his head quickly, his expression softening. "You're not intruding. But Audrey was already turning away. She did not want his kindness. She did not want to hear him explain that his date was running late, or that she was in the bathroom, or whatever small detail would make this moment even more humiliating. She wanted to leave. She wanted to go back to her car, drive home, and pretend this entire night had never happened. The restaurant felt too bright now, too loud, too full of people who belonged somewhere. She moved toward the door, weaving between tables, her vision narrowing to the exit sign ahead. Then a voice cut through the noise, high and clear and delighted. "Papa!" Audrey stopped. She turned without thinking, pulled by the sound. A little girl was running toward Ryan's table, her coat half unzipped, her hair in two messy braids. She could not have been more than 7 years old. She threw herself at Ryan, who caught her easily. Lifting her into the booth beside him, his face changed completely. The careful politeness disappeared, replaced by something open and unguarded. He kissed the top of her head and asked her something Audrey could not hear. The girl laughed and started talking fast, her hands waving in the air. Audrey stood frozen in the middle of the restaurant. Her brain caught up slowly, piecing together what she was seeing. The date. The person Ryan had been waiting for. It was his daughter. She felt the heat in her chest shift from shame to something sharper, something that tasted like jealousy and relief at the same time. He had not been chosen by another woman, but he had been chosen by someone. Someone who loved him without conditions. Someone who made him smile like that. The little girl's eyes found Audrey. She tilted her head, curious, and said something to Ryan. He looked over, and for a second, their eyes met across the crowded room. Audrey saw the realization cross his face. He understood what she had thought, what she had assumed. He stood up, still holding his daughter's hand, and gestured toward her. Not a command, an invitation. Audrey walked back toward the table slowly, her heels clicking softer now, uncertain. The little girl watched her approach with wide, unguarded eyes. When Audrey stopped at the edge of the booth, the girl smiled. It was a real smile, the kind adults forgot how to give. Ryan spoke first, his voice steady. "Miss Sinclair, this is Harper." "Harper, this is Miss Sinclair. She's my boss." Harper's eyes went even wider. She looked at her father, then back at Audrey. "You're the boss? Like, the big boss?" Audrey nodded, not trusting her voice yet. Harper grinned, clearly impressed. She scooted over in the booth and patted the seat beside her. "You can sit with us. We're having dinner. Papa said we could order whatever we want because it's New Year's." Audrey looked at Ryan. He gave a small shrug, but his expression was open, not defensive. He was leaving the choice to her. She could walk away now. She could say something polite and disappear into the night. Or she could sit down. She could stop running from her own loneliness for one night. She could let herself be seen. She slid into the booth beside Harper. The girl smelled like strawberry shampoo and cold air. Up close, Audrey could see the glitter nail polish on her small fingers, chipped but bright. Harper picked up a menu and handed it to her, very serious. "The pasta's really good. And they have chocolate cake that's this big." She held her hands apart to show the size, exaggerating wildly. Audrey took the menu. Her hands felt steady now. She looked at Ryan across the table. He was watching her carefully, like he was trying to figure out if she was okay. She was not sure herself, but she was here. That was something. Harper leaned closer, lowering her voice like she was sharing a secret. "Are you here alone too?" The question was innocent, direct, the way only children could ask things. Audrey felt the weight of it settle over her. She could lie. She could deflect. She could say she had friends meeting her later. But Harper's eyes were clear and waiting, and something in Audrey did not want to lie to her. She nodded once. "Yes, I am." Harper considered this, her face thoughtful. Then she smiled again. Brighter this time. "That's okay. You can be with us now." Audrey felt something crack open inside her chest, not breaking, opening. She looked down at the menu, blinking against the sting in her eyes. Across the table, Ryan was quiet, but when she glanced up, he was not looking away. He was not pitying her. He was just there, present, like he understood that sometimes the smallest kindness was the hardest one to accept. Harper started talking about the countdown, how she had never been allowed to stay up until midnight before, how her father had promised they would watch the fireworks from the restaurant window. Audrey listened, nodding in the right places, letting the girl's voice fill the space where her loneliness had been. The restaurant noise faded into background static. The countdown clock above the bar kept ticking. But for the first time all night, Audrey was not counting the minutes until she could leave. She was just sitting, just breathing, just here. The waiter came by with water and menus, his smile practiced and efficient. He looked at Audrey, then at Ryan, then at Harper. His eyes lingered for half a second too long, calculating. Audrey saw the math happening in his head. Woman in an expensive coat. Man in a clean but unremarkable shirt. Child between them. He was trying to figure out the relationship, trying to decide how much attention to give each of them. Audrey knew that look. She had been on the receiving end of it her entire career. People always tried to slot her into a category. Boss, wife, mother, mistress. They needed the label before they knew how to treat her. She ordered sparkling water without looking at the menu. Ryan ordered for himself and Harper, his voice steady and familiar with the routine. The waiter nodded and left. The silence that followed felt heavier than it should have. Harper swung her legs under the table, humming softly to herself, oblivious. But Audrey could feel the awkwardness settling between her and Ryan like a third presence. She was his boss. He was her employee. They had never had a conversation longer than 2 minutes outside of work, and now they were sitting in a booth on New Year's Eve, pretending this was normal. Audrey straightened her napkin on her lap, a habit from years of formal dinners, where every gesture mattered. She was used to controlling rooms, steering conversations, making people comfortable or uncomfortable, depending on what she needed. But here, in this booth, she had no script. Harper's invitation had been genuine, but Ryan had not extended it. He had simply allowed it. There was a difference. Audrey felt the weight of that difference pressing down on her shoulders. She was intruding. She was the powerful woman who had misread a situation and now sat in a space she did not belong. Harper looked up at her suddenly, tilting her head. "Do you have kids?" The question was so direct it caught Audrey off guard. She shook her head. "No, I don't." Harper nodded, accepting this without judgment. "Do you have a husband?" Ryan's voice came quickly, low and firm. "Harper, that's not polite." But Harper frowned, confused. "Why? I'm just asking." Audrey smiled, a small, real smile this time. She looked at Ryan. "It's fine, she's just curious." Then she turned back to Harper. "No, I don't have a husband either." Harper tilted her head the other way, like she was trying to solve a puzzle. "So you're alone? Like, all the time?" The words landed with the force of something much heavier. Audrey felt her chest tighten. She wanted to explain that being alone was different from being lonely, that she had colleagues and clients and a calendar filled with meetings. But Harper's eyes were wide and honest, waiting for a real answer. Audrey swallowed and nodded. Yes, most of the time. Harper looked at her father, then back at Audrey. "That sounds sad." Ryan leaned forward, his voice gentler now. "Harper, not everyone needs." But Audrey held up a hand, stopping him. She met Harper's gaze and spoke quietly. "Sometimes it is sad, but it's also just how things are." Harper seemed to think about this, her small face serious. Then she reached across the table and patted Audrey's hand, just once, very gently. "Well, You're not alone right now." Audrey felt something twist behind her ribs. She nodded, not trusting her voice. Ryan was watching her, his expression unreadable. She could not tell if he was embarrassed by his daughter's bluntness or relieved that someone had finally said the thing out loud. The thing Audrey spent every day pretending was not true. The food arrived in waves. Pasta for Harper, chicken for Ryan, a salad Audrey had ordered without thinking. Harper dove into her plate immediately, twirling noodles with focused determination. Ryan cut his chicken methodically, his movements precise. Audrey picked at her salad, aware of how little appetite she actually had. She had spent the entire day at the gala, eating small bites of expensive food that tasted like nothing. Now, sitting here, she realized she could not remember the last time she had eaten a meal because she was hungry, not because it was on her schedule. Harper talked between bites, her voice bright and unfiltered. She told Audrey about school, about her best friend who had moved away last month, about how her father let her pick the restaurant tonight because it was special. Audrey listened, nodding, asking small questions that kept the girl talking. It was easier than talking about herself, easier than admitting that she had nowhere else to be, that this random booth in a crowded restaurant was the closest thing she had felt to warmth in months. Ryan stayed quiet mostly. He watched Harper, smiling when she said something funny, correcting her gently when she talked with her mouth full. But Audrey could feel his attention shifting toward her every few minutes, checking, making sure she was okay, making sure this strange arrangement was not falling apart. She appreciated it. She hated it. She was not used to being the one who needed watching. Harper finished her pasta and pushed her plate away, satisfied. She looked between Audrey and Ryan, her eyes bright with an idea. "Okay, let's play a game." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "What kind of game?" Harper grinned, leaning forward like she was sharing a conspiracy. "Everyone has to say one wish, one thing they want before midnight, and it has to be true. No lying." Audrey felt her stomach tighten. She looked at Ryan, who was already shaking his head. "Harper, we don't need to," but Harper was already pointing at him. "You first, Papa." Ryan sighed, but his expression softened. He set his fork down and looked at his daughter. When he spoke, his voice was steady and sure. "I wish that Harper always feels safe and loved, no matter what." Harper beamed, clearly pleased. Then she turned to Audrey, her finger pointing like a tiny judge. "Your turn." Audrey opened her mouth, then closed it. Her mind went blank. She had spent years making wishes in boardrooms, at shareholder meetings, at conferences where she stood in front of hundreds of people and told them exactly what she wanted. Growth, market share, innovation, control. But those were not real wishes. Those were strategies. Harper was asking for something true, something that mattered. She looked down at her hands, folded neatly on the table. She could feel Ryan watching her. She could feel Harper waiting. The countdown clock on the wall ticked louder in her head. She thought about the gala she had left, the fake smiles, the careful answers, the way she had stood in a room full of people and felt completely invisible. She thought about driving here alone, about seeing Ryan and thinking, for one stupid second, that maybe she was not the only one. She lifted her head and met Harper's eyes. Her voice came out quieter than she intended. "I wish I could have one dinner where I didn't have to pretend." Harper frowned, not understanding. "Pretend what?" Audrey smiled, but it felt fragile. "That I'm fine." The table went quiet. Ryan's expression shifted, something like recognition flickering across his face. Harper looked between them, sensing the weight of the moment, even if she did not fully understand it. Then she reached out and took Audrey's hand again, squeezing it with her small fingers. "You don't have to pretend with us." Audrey nodded, blinking quickly. She pulled her hand back gently and picked up her water glass, taking a long sip to steady herself. Across the table, Ryan was still watching her. His eyes were not full of pity. They were full of something quieter, understanding maybe, or just the simple acknowledgement that she had told the truth and it had cost her something. Harper started talking again, filling the silence with a story about a game she played at school. Audrey let the words wash over her, grateful for the distraction. She felt raw, exposed, but also lighter, like she had set something down that she had been carrying for too long. She did not know if that was good or bad. Yet, she just knew it was different. The restaurant grew louder as the night went on. More people arrived, filling the last empty tables. Laughter echoed off the walls. Glasses clinked. The countdown clock above the bar showed less than an hour until midnight. Audrey glanced at it, then back at Harper, who was drawing shapes in the condensation on her water glass. She wondered what it would feel like to be that unburdened, to sit in a moment without calculating the next 5 moves. Then her phone buzzed in her purse, once, twice, 3 times. She ignored it. But the 4th buzz made her pull it out just to check. A text from Gerald, one of the board members. He had been at the gala. He had seen her leave early. Now he was asking where she was, asking if everything was okay. Audrey's jaw tightened. She typed a quick reply. "I'm fine. Just needed some air." She hit send and put the phone face down on the table. But it buzzed again almost immediately. This time, it was not a text. It was a photo. Someone had taken a picture of her walking into the restaurant. The angle was from across the street, grainy but clear enough. She was visible in the doorway, her coat unmistakable. Below the photo, Gerald had written, "Interesting choice of company for New Year's." Audrey stared at the screen. Her chest went cold. She knew what he was implying. She knew how it looked. The CEO of a billion-dollar company, sitting in a public restaurant with a mid-level employee and his child. People would talk. They always talked. It did not matter that nothing was happening. It did not matter that this was innocent. Perception was reality in her world. And right now, the perception was that she had let her guard down. She looked up and saw Ryan watching her. He had noticed the change in her expression. He leaned forward slightly, his voice low. "Everything okay?" Audrey forced a smile and nodded. "Fine, just work." But her hand was already reaching for her purse. She needed to leave. She needed to get ahead of this before it turned into something bigger. Before Gerald started making calls, before the board started asking questions. She had built her career on control, on never giving anyone a reason to doubt her judgment. And sitting here, in this booth, with Ryan and Harper, felt like she had stepped outside the boundaries she had spent years constructing. She started to slide out of the booth, her movements smooth and practiced. "I should go." "I didn't mean to intrude on your evening." Harper's head snapped up, confused. "But you just got here." Audrey smiled, but it did not reach her eyes. "I know. But I have some things I need to take care of." Ryan stood up, stepping out of the booth to let her pass. His voice was calm, but there was an edge to it. "You don't have to leave." Audrey met his eyes. She wanted to explain. She wanted to tell him that this was not about him or Harper, that this was about the invisible walls she lived inside, the ones that kept her safe and alone at the same time. But the words would not come. She just shook her head. "I do. I'm sorry." She turned toward the door, her heels clicking against the floor again, sharp and final. The noise of the restaurant pressed in around her. She could feel people watching, though she did not know if they actually were. She could feel the weight of the text message in her purse, the implication hanging over her like a storm cloud. She had made a mistake. She had let herself want something, and now she was paying for it. She was almost at the door when she heard Harper's voice behind her, small and clear. "Miss Sinclair?" Audrey stopped, She did not turn around. She could not. Harper's voice came again, closer now. "You don't have anyone waiting for you tonight, do you?" The question landed like a stone in still water. Audrey felt her breath catch. She turned slowly. Harper was standing a few feet away, her father behind her, his hand resting gently on her shoulder. The girl's face was open, curious, but also sad in a way that children should not be sad. Audrey tried to smile, tried to deflect. But the words came out before she could stop them. "No, I don't." Harper's eyes filled with something Audrey could not name. Sympathy, maybe, or recognition. The kind of recognition that came from knowing what it felt like to be left behind. Harper took a step forward and reached out, taking Audrey's hand in both of hers. "Then you should stay, because we don't have anyone else either, just us, and that's okay." Audrey looked down at the small hands holding hers. She looked at Ryan, who was watching quietly, not pushing, not pulling, just there. She thought about the text message, about Gerald and the board and the invisible walls. She thought about the gala and the empty car ride, and the way she had walked into this restaurant hoping to find something she could not name. She thought about leaving. About going home to her empty penthouse and her empty bed, and waking up tomorrow to start the whole performance over again. And then she thought about staying, about sitting back down in that booth and letting herself be seen, just for one night, by two people who did not need anything from her except her presence. The countdown clock above the bar showed 30 minutes until midnight. Audrey squeezed Harper's hands gently, then let go. She looked at Ryan. "I'm sorry. I don't know if I can do this." Ryan's voice was quiet. "Do what?" Audrey gestured vaguely at the restaurant, at the booth, at the space between them. "This. Sit here and pretend I belong." Ryan's expression did not change. He just shook his head. "No one's asking you to pretend." Harper tugged on Audrey's coat sleeve. "Please stay. It's almost midnight." "You can't be alone at midnight." Audrey felt something crack inside her chest. She looked at Harper's face, so earnest and open, and she realized the girl was not asking for herself. She was asking for Audrey, because she understood, in the way only children could, that being alone at midnight was not just sad. It was wrong. Audrey closed her eyes. She took a breath, and then she nodded. "Okay, I'll stay." Audrey walked back to the booth, her steps slower this time, less certain. Harper skipped ahead, already sliding back into her seat and patting the space beside her like nothing had happened. Like Audrey had not just tried to leave. Like staying was the easiest thing in the world. Ryan followed behind, his movements careful, deliberate. He did not say anything as they all sat down again. He just picked up his water glass and took a sip, his eyes on the table. The silence stretched between them, awkward and fragile. Audrey could still feel the weight of her phone in her purse, the text message sitting there like a ticking clock. She knew she should check it again. She knew Gerald was probably waiting for a response, probably already making assumptions. But she did not move. She sat there, her hands folded in her lap, trying to breathe through the tightness in her chest. Harper broke the silence first, her voice bright and oblivious. "Do you want some cake? Papa said we could get cake after dinner." Audrey looked at the girl, then at Ryan. He gave a small shrug, almost apologetic. "She's been talking about it all day." Audrey nodded, not trusting her voice yet. Harper grinned and waved down the waiter, who came over with a practiced smile. The girl ordered chocolate cake for all three of them, very serious about it, specifying that she wanted extra whipped cream. The waiter nodded and left. Harper turned back to Audrey, her eyes bright. "Have you ever had their cake? It's the best." Audrey shook her head. "No, I haven't." Harper looked shocked, like this was a personal failing. "Well, you're gonna love it. Trust me." Audrey smiled. A real smile this time. Small, but genuine. She glanced at Ryan, who was watching his daughter with an expression that was equal parts affection and exhaustion. He caught Audrey's eye and gave her a look that said, "This is my life." Audrey felt something ease in her chest. Not relief exactly, but something close to it. The cake arrived in 3 generous slices, each one topped with a mountain of whipped cream. Harper dove in immediately, her fork moving fast. Ryan ate more slowly, methodical as always. Audrey picked up her fork and took a small bite. The sweetness hit her tongue, rich and overwhelming. She had not eaten dessert in months, maybe longer. She could not remember the last time she had let herself eat something just because it tasted good. Harper looked up at her, whipped cream on her nose. "Good, right?" Audrey nodded. "It's good." Harper beamed, satisfied. She took another bite, then looked at her father. "Papa, can we tell Miss Sinclair about the wish tradition?" Ryan smiled. "What tradition is that?" Harper turned to Audrey, her eyes shining. "At midnight, you're supposed to think about one thing you're grateful for, just one. And if you say it out loud, it comes true next year too." Audrey raised an eyebrow. "Is that a real tradition?" Harper nodded very seriously. "Uh-huh. Papa told me." Ryan cleared his throat. "I may have made that up." Harper gasped, betrayed. "Papa!" Ryan laughed, and the sound was warm and genuine. "I'm sorry, but it's still a good idea." The countdown clock above the bar showed 15 minutes until midnight. The restaurant was packed now, every table full, every voice loud. Audrey could feel the energy building, the collective anticipation of a moment that was supposed to mean something. She had spent so many New Year's Eves like this, surrounded by people, pretending to care about the countdown, pretending that midnight mattered. But sitting here, in this booth, with Ryan and Harper, she realized she had never actually felt present for any of it. She had always been somewhere else in her head, planning, calculating, preparing for the next move. Harper was bouncing in her seat now, too excited to sit still. She kept looking at the clock, then at her father, then at Audrey. "We're gonna watch the fireworks from the window," Papa promised. Ryan nodded. "I did." Harper grabbed Audrey's hand suddenly, her grip tight and urgent. "You have to watch with us. You have to." Audrey looked at Ryan, uncertain. He gave a small nod. Not quite a smile, but close. "You're welcome to." Audrey felt something shift in her chest again. Not breaking, not opening, just settling. She nodded. "Okay." The waiter came by to clear their plates. The restaurant lights dimmed slightly, and someone turned up the music. The countdown was starting. People were gathering near the windows, pressing close to see the street outside. Harper jumped out of the booth and grabbed both Audrey and Ryan by the hand, pulling them toward the window. Audrey let herself be led, her heels clicking against the floor, her coat still on because she had never taken it off. They found a spot near the glass, Harper wedged between them, her face pressed close to the window. The street outside was crowded, people bundled in coats and scarves, holding sparklers and champagne bottles. The countdown clock was projected onto a building across the street, the numbers glowing red. 60 seconds. 59. 58. Harper was counting out loud, her voice high and excited. Ryan stood beside her, his hand resting on her shoulder, steady and sure. Audrey stood on the other side, her hands in her pockets, watching the numbers tick down. She thought about the text message in her purse. She thought about Gerald and the board, and the carefully constructed walls she had spent years building. She thought about what it would cost her to stay here, to let herself be seen like this. 30 seconds. 29. 28. Harper grabbed Audrey's hand again, pulling it out of her pocket. "You have to hold hands. It's tradition." Audrey did not know if that was true, but she did not argue. She let Harper hold her hand. She looked at Ryan, who was watching her with an expression she could not quite read. He reached out his other hand, and Audrey took it. His grip was warm and solid. Real. 10, 9, 8. The crowd outside was shouting now, the noise rising like a wave. Harper was screaming the numbers, her voice cutting through the chaos. Ryan was smiling, his eyes on his daughter. Audrey was looking at the clock, at the numbers dropping to 0, at the moment she had dreaded all night. 3, 2, 1. The fireworks exploded outside, bright and loud, shaking the glass. The restaurant erupted in cheers. People were hugging, kissing, shouting Happy New Year at the top of their lungs. Harper jumped up and down, still holding Audrey's hand, pulling her into the celebration. Ryan was laughing, his face open and unguarded, in a way Audrey had never seen before. And Audrey was standing there, holding hands with two people she barely knew, watching fireworks through a restaurant window. And for the first time in years, she was not thinking about what came next. She was just here, just present, just real. Harper turned to her, her face flushed and happy. Happy New Year, Miss Sinclair. Audrey smiled, and it did not feel forced. Happy New Year. Harper. Ryan looked at her, his expression softer now. Happy New Year, Audrey. She nodded. Happy New Year, Ryan. They stood there for a few more minutes, watching the fireworks fade into smoke. The crowd outside started to disperse, people wandering off into the night, still laughing and shouting. Inside the restaurant, the music changed to something slower, quieter. Harper yawned, her energy finally draining. Ryan scooped her up, settling her on his hip even though she was probably too big for it. She leaned her head against his shoulder, her eyes half closed. Ryan looked at Audrey. We should probably get going. It's late. Audrey nodded. She reached for her purse, ready to say goodbye. But Harper lifted her head, her voice sleepy but insistent. Miss Sinclair, you're our friend now, right? Audrey looked at the girl, at her tired eyes and her messy braids. She felt something tighten in her throat. Yes, I am. Harper smiled, satisfied. Good. Friends don't leave friends alone. Ryan adjusted his grip on Harper, his voice quiet. She's right, you know. Audrey met his eyes. She did not know what to say. She did not know how to explain that friendship was not something she had time for, that her life was too complicated, too controlled, too full of people who wanted things from her. But standing here, looking at Ryan and Harper, she realized that maybe she was the one who wanted something. She just had not known how to ask for it. She nodded slowly. I know. They walked out of the restaurant together, Harper half asleep in Ryan's arms. The valet brought Audrey's car first. She stood by the driver's side door, her keys in her hand. Ryan waited with her, shifting Harper's weight. The street was quieter now, the fireworks over, the crowd thinning. Audrey looked at him. Thank you. For tonight. Ryan shook his head. You don't have to thank me. You stayed because you wanted to. Audrey smiled, small but real. Maybe. But Harper's the one who made me. Ryan glanced down at his daughter, then back at Audrey. She has a way of doing that. Audrey opened her car door, then stopped. She looked at Ryan one more time. The date you had tonight. You weren't lying. Ryan's expression softened. No, I wasn't. Harper is the most important person in my life. She always will be. Audrey nodded. She understood that now. She understood what it meant to have someone who mattered more than anything else. She did not have that. Maybe she never would. But for one night, she had been close enough to feel what it was like. She got in her car and started the engine. Ryan stepped back, holding Harper close. Audrey drove away slowly, watching them in her rearview mirror until they disappeared into the night. Her phone buzzed in her purse. She ignored it. Tomorrow, she would deal with Gerald. She would deal with the board. She would go back to being the CEO, the billionaire, the woman who had everything except the things that mattered. But tonight, she had sat at a table with two people who did not need anything from her except her presence. And that was enough.